Welcome to this weather video with Alan Kamau, and welcome to the month of June. But of course, we got to talk about how busy May has been in general, because it has, of course, been extremely busy for our local National Weather Services with the amount of tornado warnings they issued in the month of May, and even the amount of severe thunderstorm warnings. I mean, craziness indeed. And of course, with the amount of severe weather events that didn't only just impact us, but everywhere in the US, a lot of people just feel storm fatigued, and entering in the month of June, we're just hoping for the best. But first, we got to talk about how busy one of these events were. And just a few days ago, we had this on May 26, 2024. And it really was one of those days where in the morning we had morning rain that actually was a little bit of a good thing, when we thought that it would actually limit the amount of instability available for afternoon and evening storms later on in the day. But little did we know that threat would go up significantly. And when I mean significantly, on May 26, 2024, it went up significantly. And really in the morning, we went from an enhanced risk all the way down to our marginal risk, because we thought that all that cloud cover and all that rain in the morning was actually a good thing for us. And a lot of people were like, hey, National Weather Service, we just got downgraded, we're good for the day. And little did we know that we would go from a level 1 all the way to a rare level 4 out of 5 south of the St. Louis metro. And even with what we call, and you've heard it before, a rare PDS tornado watch on May 26, 2024. Again, I'm talking about May, I'm not talking about right now, but it was very rare, and just a rare situation in general with what we were in, with how quickly the atmosphere recovered, the amount of instability that came. It just shows you how crazy the weather is in St. Louis in general, with the language. I mean, look at that threat information that came from our local National Weather Service and our SPC, basically down in Norman, Oklahoma. They were the people that downgraded us, and little did they know we were going to be upgraded significantly south of St. Louis on May 26th. Again, May 26th, not today, was even put under a moderate risk for severe weather. A rare level 4 out of 5 was put on this day. And initially we started with basically supercellular storms that produced a very large hail threat and a very significant tornado threat. And then eventually got into a line of storms and basically turned into a damaging wind threat and a QLCS kind of mode. Basically, that means that on the leading edge of the line, you could have circulations that could produce tornadoes, and some of them can last a very short period of time, even seconds. But whether it lasts seconds or even minutes, if it's right over your home at the wrong time, we already know that it can cause damage, and it is something that we don't want to talk about at all. Specifically with it being Memorial Day weekend, with how quickly the forecast was changing, it definitely worried me, and that's why I brought a weather update on my Twitter page very quickly. And 10 tornadoes had touched down in the St. Louis metropolitan area and in southwestern Illinois, from a mix of supercells and, of course, like that QLCS, quasi-linear convective system. The good thing is that there were no reported injuries or deaths with these thunderstorms. And let's just talk about some of the surveys. One of them was in Jefferson County, Missouri. This was on the weaker end around Fenton, Missouri. These were the estimated peak winds that they determined of 76 miles per hour. And it takes a lot of good expertise to figure out exactly how strong the tornado was. It was an EF0. It only lasted literally a minute or just seconds, as it touched down just west of Highway 141. It moved east of Highway 141 and had some damage into sidings, and even additional damage was found, but this tornado was only on the ground for just 1 minute. Then this next one around Oakville, Missouri was one of our more significant ones, still a weak tornado that tracked through Oakville and then crossed the Mississippi River. It's a myth that is not true. Rivers do not stop tornadoes, okay? So if you've heard that from your friend, just know it is not true. It crossed the river, and it had even uprooted some trees. This was estimated peak winds of 97 miles per hour. This next one near Baden, Illinois, in St. Clair and Clinton County, Illinois, was an EF0, estimated peak winds of 90 miles per hour. And if that sounds weak, if it was right over your house, I mean, that is scary. I don't want to think about anything higher than that. And this was a weak tornado that just had continued to track and produce some large tree damage. It uprooted some large trees and even some minor roof damage before it started to lift. This one was in Reynolds County in Missouri, and this was a tornado in Redford, Missouri. It was an EF0. This was a weaker one, estimated peak winds of 60 miles per hour, and it formed along Highway K in Reynolds County south of Redford, and then eventually it started to dissipate along Highway K east of Redford. But again, it doesn't matter how short of a time period it is, it just lasted 2 minutes. But if it's right over your house, you don't want it to last any longer than that. This next one was around Carlisle Lake in Clinton County, Illinois. It was an EF1, estimated peak winds of 97 miles per hour. It had some significant damage to a garage, shed, and even removing portions of a roof. And then eventually it started to dissipate, just lifting west of Highway 51. But of course, this actually destroyed a barn, a house's roof, and even a majority of another barn's roof had been removed by this tornado. So it may last a short period of time, but if it's right over your neighborhood, it can do some ugly stuff. This next one again was in Reynolds, Iron, and Madison County, Missouri, and around Annapolis, Missouri. And this was a tornado that formed just along Highway K in far eastern Reynolds County, producing minor tree damage. This tornado then tracked east into Iron County and then south of Annapolis, where it continued to produce some minor tree damage. This next one in Ellington, this was also in Reynolds County. Y'all have been mentioned too many times, but unfortunately, tornadoes just like going through these areas. EF0 was an estimated rating from our National Weather Service, estimated peak winds of 62 miles per hour. This was a weak tornado, but again, the way it tracked, just crossing Highway Y and then dissipating along Highway 21, producing minor tree damage. That tree damage, if it's around your house, it can be called significant if it were your house. And then this also in Madison County. How many times have we mentioned Madison County? Estimated peak winds of 74 miles per hour. And eventually this started to get into a different coverage area of our National Weather Service in Paducah, but it still snapped lots of tree branches and uprooting and snapping trees. This next one in Marion County, there were actually two tornadoes. EF1 tornado, the first one just west of this area in Illinois, uprooting several trees. Of course, this estimated peak winds of 104 miles per hour, that's pretty significant. And then eventually when it got into Marion County and eventually into our National Weather Service in Lincoln, Illinois, around Clay County, around the Louisville, Illinois area in Clay County, it eventually strengthened to an EF2 as it left the St. Louis County warning area that our National Weather Service in St. Louis serves. And when I mean it takes a lot of expertise to determine how strong these tornadoes were, it takes a lot of expertise because we got to look at if this was a weak tornado or maybe this was a more of a significant or extreme tornado or even worse. And that's what our National Weather Service was working tirelessly to do. When they downgraded our risk on May 26th, our National Weather Service saw probably that wasn't a good idea. They were communicating with them, and eventually this risk got upgraded significantly, especially south of St. Louis, where, again, we started with more supercells that produced a large hail threat and a damaging wind threat, and even if you weren't impacted by a severe thunderstorm, lightning, during your Memorial Day weekend while you're barbecuing, it's nothing to joke with. And this unfortunately produced some tornadoes in very high populated areas, eventually producing a QLCS tornado threat along the leading edge of the line, and it still caused problems moving into parts of Kentucky and even parts of Tennessee. By that point, it started to weaken just a little bit. But I mean, bottom of the line, St. Louis, it just shows you how our weather changes so significantly. And on May 26th, it changed so significantly, I wasn't even able to bring a weather update on YouTube. So it just tells you that when you have such significant weather changes, you want to download X and follow me. I have a big audience that you can be part of, and I treat this audience with lots of respect. I want to be as transparent as possible and bring accurate forecasts, and when it changes I try to bring updates on Twitter. And I just started my summer break, just finished my first year being a freshman in high school, and this means even though I do have some plans for the summer, I should still be able to bring frequent updates when we're talking about severe weather. Let's hope June is not as bad as it was in May across the U.S., because I'm telling you, it has been crazy in parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri. The amount of severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings that have been issued this severe weather season is so above average, and it's another reason why we just started meteorological summer yesterday on June 1st. Another reason why you want to have a NOAA weather radio, doesn't matter what kind it is, replace the batteries on them, alerts come immediately. And of course, you want to have always multiple ways to receive warnings. Your phone is not the best reliable source because you like putting your phone on sleep mode, maybe do not disturb when you go to sleep, and it may not bring that warning when you want it to. That's the That's the reason why you want a NOAA weather radio, because it's going to bring those warnings immediately. And of course, I know we're tired of talking about severe weather, but I just had to mention it because May has been busy and now we're starting a new month. I'll be here for you like always, but of course, we want to have always multiple ways to receive warnings any time of the year, whether it's winter, spring, summer, or fall. And even looking at this upcoming week, I am seeing some storm chances on Monday afternoon as we're moving towards June 3rd. But can roll out maybe an isolated strong storm, but I'm not really concerned about severe weather for this upcoming week. If that changes, I'll let you know on my Twitter page, because the weather changes so quickly, and before you know it, it changes so quickly to the point where I can't even bring an update on YouTube. It was like that on Memorial Day weekend on May 26th. So I am seeing those storm chances. It isn't going to rain all week this week, but even late Tuesday and that early Wednesday time frame, you want to be aware of that. And even temperature trends for this month, as we're looking at June 7th through the 11th, I'm seeing below normal temperatures expected. Still with below normal temperatures, you got to note that it is June. We're getting into summer this month. First day of summer is on June 20th, I believe, and that basically means as we're starting meteorological summer, below normal temperatures could just be just slightly a bit under our normal average temperatures for this time of the year, and that still means you can still get severe thunderstorms. So don't play games even when you see below normal temperatures. Even looking at the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, you can see it shows below normal temperatures expected. But again, don't play games with below normal temperatures, because it's not winter. It's still going to, there'll be times basically during this month where there'll still be some instability to fuel some thunderstorms for parts of June. But I'm hoping it won't be as bad as May, because May has been above average. I mean, if you look at some of the tweets that are coming from our different weather people in our WX community on Twitter, they actually have graphics on the amount of moderate risk that have been put out this month, the amount of enhanced risk, and the amount of watches like you see like this that have been put out for the month of May. And let's just hope we're not going to repeat that this month in June, because even rare PDS tornado watches like this themselves that we had on May 26th are very rare, even with that significant tornado threat. And again, that's the reason why I keep stressing, no matter what time it is in the year, if you know you have a NOAA weather radio, with the ever fast changing weather around our coverage area in St. Louis, you want to always have multiple ways to receive warnings. It is going to be a good resource when you need it. And of course, I'm going to be on Twitter. I'm going to be on X when you need me. And if I'm able to, I'll always bring updates or immediate updates when I can. But it just shows you how crazy May has been. Let's hope it's not going to be so crazy this month. But of course, St. Louis, the weather changes frequently, and that is why you want to download X and follow me. I have outdoor weather reports like this. They're not going to take as long as this video, but when you know May has been so busy, you're going to have longer videos like this, just so that we can recap how the month has been and what to expect next. Yes, you can see some below normal temperatures starting the month of June, but that just basically means a little bit below our normal temperatures for this time of the year, which still means you're going to get that occasional heating of the day to fuel thunderstorms that may be on the stronger side. That's maybe what we could get on June 3rd, basically tomorrow on Monday. But again, not everyone will be impacted. But yeah, that's how I'm going to wrap up this video. You just got to know that St. Louis could be pretty crazy this summer, maybe even into early fall. Until then, thank you for watching this video. I hope you understood it. Rewind the video all the way back to the beginning if you did not hear everything. And hopefully I was able to break down exactly how it's been and what to expect next in the future. And I'll be going more in depth on my Twitter page. Until then, I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.